Hello. Hi, Vineeta.
Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Vineeta?
So far, so good. And I'm
Thank-
really excited for this conversation.
okay, I'm also really excited to talk to you. Thank you for accepting my request and joining me today. I have been asking you for such a long time. So, yeah, please give a brief introduction.
To begin with, I would like to say thank you so much for inviting me on your channel. As you can see on the screen, my name is Vineeta Chaudhary and I hail from UP, Mathura. But currently, I'm living in Bangalore. I'm connecting with you from Bangalore only. And if I talk about little bit about my education, I have done BTech from IIT Roorkee in 2019, and then I worked with some companies and startup. Now I run my own startup named Fluenzio, where I am helping people with their English. We are providing one-on-one session to the learners. Yes,
Okay.
this is what I'm doing.
Okay, that's great. So, that's a great
Yes,
mission. Yeah.
yes,
So,
it's really important.
yeah, because English is the, need of the hour.
Exactly, absolutely.
How did you think of starting Fluenzio?
Okay, if I talk about Fluenzio, there are two reasons mainly. First, my own journey. When I was in college and school, I struggled a lot with English.
Mhm.
And when we are in college or school, for us, when someone is speaking English, it's like, oh my God, I also want to speak like them.
Correct, correct.
It becomes a kind of dream. First dream, maybe I can become comfortable, confident when it comes to speaking in English. For me, it was the biggest challenge,
Okay.
especially in college, because in school, anyhow, I could manage.
Mhm.
And when I went to college, it was the biggest challenge. I realized I was struggling to fit in.
Okay.
I was struggling to connect with people, though it was not prerequisite. People around me, they were also speaking in Hindi or other languages, but still I felt maybe I don't know. This is the reason I'm not able to connect. And later, what I realized, only English was not a problem. Not knowing English was affecting my confidence a lot. I
Correct.
started having a lot of self doubt. Like I know certain things, but I'm still struggling to express those things, and especially when it comes to English, I feel I have let go multiple opportunities just because of this fear. Maybe I'm not the right fit here. I don't know how to communicate. All this happened. And after college, when I started working and when I got a job, when I joined the company, I realized I was not the only one dealing with all this.
Okay.
There were other people around me
Mhm.
who were very good at other skills, hard skills, and other skills work related, but they were also, many of them were struggling to express themselves. They were putting them back because of not being comfortable with English. I realized it's a big problem. So that was the reason. These were two reasons. First, my experience, and then I started observing people. And then I thought I should start something. Then few last year I joined a platform where I started helping based on my experience. Then I got good response from the learners. Then I started Fluenzio. And in last few months, 8 9 months, I have connected with more than 1,000 people. And that is again that has become a great inspiration for me because I know now closely how people are struggling, how many of them, and how they are seeing change in their lives or their confidence. So, yes, these are two, three reasons, and we are rigorously working on it to provide better and better platform.
That's amazing. That's a great initiative that you are helping people learn English. And actually, in India, it's so many people's dream to become fluent in English.
Absolutely.
Boosts your confidence in general. When you are in public, when you are with your classmates,
Right.
with
Mhm.
relatives, in a restaurant, at a
Mhm.
mall, and actually everywhere, your confidence is at this level when you know English well, and your confidence
Exactly. You are right.
automatically goes down when you're not able to speak English. So in a party,
Mhm.
if seven people are speaking in English, you will definitely shy away, you will definitely stay quiet, because you would think that if all of them are speaking in English, how can I speak?
It's a big problem.
Yeah.
Yes, some people leave those opportunities like this only. Okay,
Correct.
maybe I don't fit in here, maybe I won't be able to communicate with them. So they let go of a lot of opportunities. But you know what I have observed? When people know English, they don't focus on that. They focus on other parts of their life. When they don't know, For them, it becomes the
Yeah,
main problem.
yeah.
I wish I had known this.
Right, right, right.
Yeah,
It becomes the biggest part of their lives. I mean, they just keep thinking that had I known English, my life
exactly.
would have been this. Had I known English, my life would have been this. I could have done this. So they just keep thinking about it. When seven people are speaking, even if a person comes in and starts speaking Hindi with confidence, then also nobody is
Mm-hmm.
going to judge. People take English
Agreed.
very, very seriously.
And it has become a requirement at workplace mainly because not everyone knows Hindi.
Right.
When you are connecting with people from other parts of India or outside India, especially at your workplace, they might not know Hindi, right? Then English become, and I somewhere read English is the most, when it comes to percent, this highest number of people speak.
It is the most
Yeah.
spoken language in the world.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to ask you because you have so much experience in spoken English field. Why do people struggle so much with learning English despite trying so much? I mean, despite trying a lot.
One that if I talk about it, one is my personal experience. When I tried, I faced some challenges. Now, when I connect with the learners, I ask them specifically. I ask them many questions. Why do you feel so? What are the challenges? Where are you struggling? All. What I have realized many a times when they start learning, they start setting some unrealistic standards.
Mhm.
For example, if I am learning, I start learning, maybe in few days I will become fluent, and they
Correct.
start comparing themselves with the fluent speaker.
Yeah.
It becomes very tough to focus on step by step process.
Right.
One is this challenge. It might take some time. You need to follow, you need to understand your level.
Right.
Maybe today you are able to speak one sentence or two sentences or three sentences or and all. Maybe after few days you will see a progress. You will start speaking. You start telling a story, short story. So it's better to focus on your progress rather than comparing. So first is setting unrealistic standards,
Mhm.
and second, I feel our mental blocks. We have a lot of mental blocks. When we learn, we feel maybe I don't know, I won't be able to speak because I come from this particular background, Hindi medium or any native medium, Marathi or any other medium. Okay, or maybe I don't have environment around me, so that is the reason I'm not able to speak. But the reality in India is that people speak at our homes, we speak in our native language only.
Right.
Most of us don't have environment. We learn during our life, throughout the journey, at workplace, in college. This is how we learn.
Yes.
We don't, when someone is speaking in English, they didn't set this timeline. They learned throughout their lifetime, in school, college, somewhere, wherever they got opportunities. And we are not born with this language. We adapt, right, with
Right.
time. So
Mhm.
second, I feel they have a lot of mental blocks. I won't be able to speak because I come from this background and that background, and
True.
maybe it will be difficult. And third, there are a lot of advice available out there, and sometimes it becomes, and they are all generic, and it becomes difficult to find what is working for us.
Right.
Right. So we get into this a lot of advice. Someone said, follow this, we start following this. It's not working, then next, then next. What happens with that? We get confused.
Right.
We completely lose the track. We completely lose the focus, what is working for us. So because with this advice, what happens? We start focusing on mechanics of English. For
Mhm.
example, someone said, you need to build vocabulary, you need to have strong grammar, you need to learn, you need to read a lot. It becomes very difficult, and probably this is the main reason what we are doing. First, we are not giving generic thing. Okay, in our sessions, we are not giving anything generic. We are trying to make it personalized. For example,
Okay.
first we take demo
Mhm.
to assess the learner, their current level. And I think demo, what I will suggest, they can take demo on our platform. It is for free. It's a 20 to 30 minutes demo. They can take, it's one-on-one demo. So if they want to check their level, they can take demo.
The demo session is free of cost. Normally, the
Yes,
other
it is
companies
free.
charge rupees 99 for a demo session. On Fluenzio, you are offering this demo session for free. So that's great.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So what we do in demo, we will tell you where do you stand. You can see yourself. What
Mhm.
is your current level
Mhm.
when it comes to spoken English? And I feel Rather than getting into mechanics, it's better. The idea should be communicate your thoughts. Other
Right,
people
right,
should be able to understand what we are trying to speak, rather than focusing on nitty gritty of English, like grammar, pronunciation, punctuation marks, or
right, right,
preposition and
right,
all. So we
right.
somewhere lose track of that. So I
Correct.
think these are few challenges,
Mhm.
and most importantly, we give up. As a
Right.
learner, they give up easily. Like, okay, if we are not learning in few days, maybe this is not for me. So it becomes very hard for us sometimes to tell them, okay, give us some time. You will see a drastic change.
Yeah.
They start playing it safe.
Yes. It's very difficult to match up to someone else. If we are thinking that his English is better than me, then even if you
Mhm.
improve, someone will always be better than you. So you have to just compete with yourself that I have to do this
Exactly.
and set realistic goals. You don't have 2 hours in a day, then spend, if you can spend just 30 minutes a day, it's fine. Only if you're
Right.
consistent. Consistency is the most important thing.
It is everything, huh?
Yeah,
Consistency, now I have realized it is everything. You
correct.
need to put extra, you don't need to put 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Right.
You should give at least few minutes in a day.
Hmm.
And what
Right.
happens usually, first we need to understand our requirement. If my requirement is to clear an interview,
Hmm. Right.
right? So I should focus on that first,
Correct.
rather than imagining myself being a super fast speaker,
Correct.
right? So we should focus on those goalposts that we set for ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think most of the learners think that they need to speak advanced English and they need to show off. But the purpose of a
Hmm.
language is just to convey our thoughts. Beginners
Exactly.
should only focus on that. Other person
Hmm.
is able to understand what I'm trying to say. That is enough for the beginners. And later on,
Hmm.
you can build up on your vocabulary and you can learn advanced English.
Yeah. First focus, like if your goal is not to become a public speaker or an English teacher or something, you don't want to get into this field, then for you, learning English, spoken English, basic, it's okay, good enough to start with, rather
Right.
than focusing on too much advanced level.
Mhm.
Then with time, you can have fun and you can learn advanced English.
Right.
We
Right.
are trying to focus to provide the sessions in such a way they shouldn't feel as if they are learning English. They should
Okay.
be excited for the next session. If they have taken session from me or from any tutor, they
Mhm.
should be excited, like, okay, tomorrow I have a session, today I learned this, I'm really excited. So they should be able to see this is particularly what I am putting a lot of time and energy. You should
Okay.
have fun. It is kind of a personal training. So
Mhm.
what we are trying to do, we are trying to provide personal training rather than giving some generic training.
Okay.
And now I want to know one thing. I'm very curious to know about this. Why and how did you start? What was the main reason you started this channel? Your channel is mainly focusing on English, right?
Right. Right.
So what was the main
Actually,
reason?
when I was a little child, I was very good with written English and English grammar. So I used to
Mm-hmm.
score 100% in English and I was a topper in English. But I
Oh.
struggled with speaking English. I was from a Hindi medium background. So there was no
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere of spoken English in my school. So
Mm-hmm.
actually, everybody, even my English teacher, used to speak in Hindi. So, in spite of getting full marks, I was not able to speak a
Mm-hmm.
single sentence. I used to be shy. So, I would teach
Mm-hmm.
other kids, I would teach my cousins also, who were about 18, 20 years old, and I was 9 years old. So, I used to teach them all,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not able to speak. But when I went to college, other people used to speak. I don't know, in spite of being good at English, I was not able to speak. I picked up a job, I was a computer teacher there. So
Mm-hmm.
I was forced to speak English there. It was not allowed to speak in Hindi. So it was compulsory to speak in English. There I was forced. So when I started speaking there, earlier I used to think that I was so good in English. I used to score so well. So I would never make mistakes when I would speak English. But when I actually started speaking English, I was actually making mistakes because, written English and spoken English are different. You get time to think when you write. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference. And when you're speaking with someone, you don't have any time, you don't get any time to think. You can't keep translating in your head. I struggled a lot and I wanted to help people learn English. So I
No,
understand their pain. When people say it's my dream to become fluent in English, it was mine also.
I can totally relate to this journey. Something similar happened with me when I was in school. Again, we learn it as a subject,
Correct.
I started learning grammar. I had many books. I always carried grammar books. I thought maybe once I will complete sentences. I used to write a lot of words in my notebook. I have filled many notebooks. That was my weird, pathetic idea to learn English. It
Yeah.
was always that inspiration. One day I will become a fluent speaker. So I used to do all this, like playing it safe. As a kid, we start playing it safe, learning grammar, vocabulary. I did all this. So, like your journey in college, I know sentences, I know tenses, but I don't know how to communicate, how to put them together. So it became a challenge. And uh, after joining college, there were some requirements. Even in my college, you have to speak in English in vivas or interviews. So yeah, similar journey. I can feel it. Like if someone says I'm struggling where I'm like, okay, yes, I can feel it. I was there once.
Yeah. So from my journey, I learned a lesson that even if you are a grammar expert, then also you may not be able to speak English. So being a grammar
Exactly.
expert doesn't guarantee that you are a great English speaker as well. Spoken English is different.
Yes.
You have to face your nervousness, face your fear.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. And you know what I have felt? For example, you are focusing, you are teaching people, you are trying to make them comfortable with English.
Correct.
I have the same goal. Usually, what happens? We had time. We had enough time. We gave enough time. We realized it later. It can be important. If we had learned it earlier, we might have gotten some good opportunities, better opportunities, maybe than this. Right? What I feel many a times people think they have a lot of time. For
Yes.
example, in their mind, they want to become fluent in few days, but when it comes to their learning approach, when I ask them, what do you do for learning English? They are like, I am trying to read a lot, I'm trying to watch a lot, I'm trying to listen to these things a lot. I'm like, are you speaking? Are you speaking a lot? Like, no,
Yeah.
that is not happening.
Yeah.
I am like, then it will take a lot of years. Do you have these
Yes.
many years? Especially when you are in college final years or in a job, then you don't want to give many years just for learning English. We could give this much time because we wanted to get into this field. But for learners, it's like they want to become fluent in few months. So then I am just focus on that. Produce as much as you can rather than consuming. So you were asking that biggest mistake what they make in last question.
Yeah.
So it is one of the reason we consume a lot rather than producing. That
That's
is
true.
one.
Yeah. So, what's the use
Agreed.
of
Yeah.
that information which you are constantly putting in your brain but never gets used? What's the point of that information? Isn't it? Unless you speak or
Yes.
you write, that is never going to be used.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you're just reading
Hmm.
or listening, that you are just filling up your brain. That is of no use.
And sometimes, to add this point, sometimes I ask people, what do you do? They say, I read newspaper. I'm like at this level where I can speak comfortably. I find many words difficult. It kind of demotivates me. Why do you start with newspaper? You are a basic learner. You should read something very simple.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can start with newspaper when you are intermediate or advanced level speaker,
Correct. That's
not as a basic learner. Yeah.
Yeah, I always suggest people to start reading storybooks first if they really want to read.
Right.
Those
Yeah,
have
this
that has
agreed.
simple English. Yeah.
Yeah, what I do, I give a lot of stories to learners just for their reference. I give them some stories, simple stories based on their level. Like
Mhm.
you can read them when you are alone, or you can read them and you can summarize us in the session so that it is just kind of homework for you. You don't need to feel you don't have anything to work upon at your home. So we also provide that. So this is what we do, just doing a lot of research to understand the learner and provide some document or some material according to their comfort and requirement.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of activities do you give them during sessions?
Basically, it contains all the aspects of English. For example, mainly our first focus is just to remove that mental block and their
Mhm.
lack of confidence problem. First few hours
Mhm.
of those sections we spend just telling them, yes, if we could do this, you can also do that. So,
Right.
and then when it comes to activities, we try to provide engaging activities.
Mhm.
For example, asking them to perform some role play or some experience from their journey, some topics, some conversation, and some quotes, basically where they can feel they are able to speak some sentences. Somewhere I try based on the learner's requirement, some speech also,
Okay.
how they are able to communicate. So there are many activities so that they can feel they are learning and they are learning with fun. And we also, along with this particular thing, it is primary. Spoken English is primary along with their confidence. Secondary comes all these nitty gritties of English, which is focusing on vocabulary. If they are making mistakes, if they want more words in their dictionary, mental dictionary, or their grammar, pronunciation, everything. So we try to focus on that. This is what we are doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Once they start believing that they can also do it and they become confident, all the other things will automatically fall in place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And it feels great when someone comes to me and after taking few sessions, they are like, "Ma'am, today I tried to speak and I was relatively more comfortable and confident." And I feel like, okay, yes, it is working and it gives me that motivation now. I am charged up to do more.
Yeah, that's great. In the end, I want you to give some suggestions for my viewers who really want to improve their English.
Okay. So first I would like to say when I would like to focus on my mistakes that I made when I was learning. I have mentioned earlier, I tried to play it safe. So first, don't play it safe. Don't set unrealistic standards. When you are starting, focus on your level. Okay, if you are struggling to make basic sentences, just try to make basic sentences. Then try to go little advanced, right? Focus on that part and don't follow 100 type of advice.
Mhm.
Focus on something, try to find, work on it, try to find that is good for you, that is convenient for your time, rather than if I am saying do this more, do if it is not working, there's no point. If you are feeling frustrated, then there is no point. Find something that is interesting and engaging for you. And this English has a lot of aspects. For example, all these verticals: reading, writing, listening, watching, and speaking. Try to get involved with all these aspects. Okay, but make sure if you are giving 10 minutes to reading or 10 minutes to watching, you are giving same time to speaking.
Mm.
What to do? There is a lot of content available. So, best I would suggest, if you want to learn faster, join us. We would love to help you. But if you don't have time, what happens usually, people try to, they are like, okay, we can learn in many months or many years. Then just take the help of other people around you. Nobody is going to stress about you. Nobody is going to focus on your learning. In
Right.
long term, it doesn't matter. If
Mm.
you are bit shameless and asking for feedback, like, okay, correct me if I'm making mistake, just speak with me in English. Try to do that and ask for feedback and immerse in English as much as possible. This is my advice. Most important thing is get into right practice.
Right. Thank you so much, Vineeta. I hope all these tips and tricks would be very, very useful for my viewers.
It's a website. You can put that website link. They can book a demo from
Okay.
there and they can reach out to us. We have our contact number there. They can reach out to us. They can check their level. And yes, so they can take the demo. And if they want, they can join us.
Okay. So if you want to take demo, you can click on the link that I have provided in the description of this video. So thank you for joining us today, Vineeta. It was such a lovely session.
Thank you, Meenu Ma'am. I really enjoyed it. It was lovely. I had fun.
Okay, then bye bye. Have a
Okay.
great day.
Yeah, you too have a great day. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.